Okay, in this screencast we're going to look at creating a user login for our database. Now this is for the year 12 and the year 13 databases. In this example I'm going to work with the year 12 database, but year 13 the process is exactly the same for you. So if we have a quick look at what we're going to do, we're going to create a table of users. We're going to create a login form for those users. We're going to add some code to make it work. We've got to test it. And finally, we're going to record a macro to close the switchboard form. Now, you should have all created the switchboard form from one of my previous screencasts. So let's go and have a look in our database. Okay, the first thing that we're going to need to do is create a new table. So very quickly, we'll go to create table. Okay, let's pop it into design view. Okay, I'm going to call this TBL users. In fact, I've done this, I've got a users table already down here. I'm going to go through the process again, so I'll call it users 2 and I'll click on OK. Right, my first one is going to be my user ID. Okay, then it's going to be username and password. Note the user ID is the primary key and it's an auto number, the username is a text field and the password is a text field, but under input mask I'm going to type password there. So when we enter data and work with data, the password is asterisked, so we can't actually read what that password is. So I'll save that table and that's that one done. So the next thing I need to do is put some users into my table. So I'll start with me and the password. Okay, now you've got to be very careful here because if you mistype the password, you're not going to know what it is. So actually it might be a good idea to delete that. We'll delete my name as well. We'll go back into design view, and just for now I'm going to take the password input mask off just so we can actually see what we're typing. So we'll save that. We'll go and do that again. So data sheet view. So Ben and my top secret password. I think we'll just put love ICT actually. That was a typo. Love ICT. So username Ben and the password love ICT. So I can save that now and I've got everything I need to do the next stage. Okay, so we can finish with that for a moment and I'm going to create a new blank form. Okay, we'll change into design view. Okay, now you can add a title, you can add a picture and make yours look pretty. I'm just going to do the basics. So I'm going to start with a combo box, which is this object here. So I'll click on the combo box and draw it onto the screen. Okay. I want the combo box to get the values from another table or query, so we'll click on next. We'll look for table users 2. Click on next. We just want the username. Click on next. We don't want to sort it in any order. Quick data test. Yeah, that's fine. Next and finish. Now that box is too big. Bring that down there. Okay. So that gives us our username. Okay, next we need a text box for our password. So we'll select the text box object and draw that in there. Okay. And you can see that one has got the label text2, so I'm going to call that password. Okay, so now I need to name the objects I've added. So I'm going to click first of all on the combo box and I'm going to go over to other, and it's given it the default name of combo 0. That's a bit meaningless, so I'm going to call it combo username. I'm going to do the same for the password text box, but this time I'm going to call it text pass. So text password and combo box for the username. Now the next thing we need to do is add a button. So we come back up to the top of screen here and we're looking for the button. So click on the button and draw myself a login button there. Okay. Now just for now I'm going to click on cancel because I don't want to add any of these like we have done previously. So I'll click on cancel and I'm looking for name there, command 4. Okay, I'm going to call it BTN for button space login. Okay, so that gives my button a name in code, so I know which object I'm referring to. I also want to change the label. I don't want it reading command 4, so I'll click on format and I'm looking for, there it is, caption. So we'll call that login. out. So I've got button called login, or with the caption login, and it's called, if I click on the button it would help, button login. Okay, so now we're going to need to add some code to the login button to actually make the login function work. Now I've just had a go doing it previously and it's all working. So if I just open that up, go into this button and have a look, here's the code that we're going to be using. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and paste it in directly, but I've also copied it and put it into a notepad file. Okay, and this notepad file and the text itself will be on Moodle, so you'll be able to download it directly from Moodle. Okay, so just for me for now, I'm going to copy the code there and come back out of that one. Right, we're done with form login, so we'll close that one. Don't want to save any changes, and we now need to save this form here. So if we save that as frm login2 and click on OK. Right, with the login button highlighted, okay, you will need to choose on event, click events in the property sheet. Now if you can't see this property sheet, if you right click on the button or any other object, go down to properties, it will appear on the right hand side. So find the event tab and then on click, because we want the code to initiate when we click, so it's on click, and we're going to click on just the three little dots there. Okay, and we're looking for the code builder. Click on OK. Right then. So what we've got here is the area we're going to put the code in. I'm just going to paste my code. Now I'm going to have to make a couple of little changes. My form that I was working with, I called it form login 2, so I need to change that. But everything else should be the same. The combo box was combo username. The password field was text pass, and everything else in there. The table was table users. So everything else in there should work fine. So if I just save that and close it down. Okay, now here's going to be the moment of truth. So I'm going to go to form view. I'm going to choose me as the user. I'm going to put my password in. Low ICT. We should have that as asterisk as well. We'll fix that in a second. Click on login and it's worked. Fantastic. So if I close down the switchboard, we just reopen form login 2, back into design view, and with the password I need to change the input mask, which is, again, you need to go to the properties, and it is, there it is, it's on data, and the input mask is going to be password. Okay, so if we just save that and go back to form view, so if I choose myself, Ben, love ICT, this time we can't actually read the password, click on login, fantastic, it works. Now we also need to check the error handling. Okay, it's no good just testing it to show that your username works with your password. We need to make sure that if it doesn't work, we have a message, something suitable that tells the user something's wrong. So if we go back into form login 2, I'll choose me again, but this time I'll just put just a random password, login, and we get a message, password invalid, please try again. Okay, now that will just keep happening, a bit more typing and the random password. That will just keep happening in a loop until we actually get the right password. There we are. So let's have a little recap on what we've been doing. Okay, we've created a users table. Okay, mine was table users 2, that was the first thing that we did. We then created a user login form. Mine was form login 2, and we've added the code, okay, and we've tested it so we know that it all works. Now before we go any further, I think we just need to have a little look a little bit deeper into the code itself. So what I'm going to do is copy the code into Microsoft Word, just to explain it so I can highlight things really. Create a blank document, and we'll take this code and pop it over here for a second. Okay, now we need to look at the code and make sure that what we've got here as the text box or the combination box for the username and the text box for the password all works. Okay, so if we go through it step by step, we can link it up and make it work. So first of all, we've got combo username. Now that's what I've called my, that's not a very good colour to use because it's clashing with the underlining there where it thinks it's a spelling error. So we'll go for blue. Let's find a better colour. There we are. Okay. So whatever you called the combination box, you could have called it combo 123, and if that was the case, you put combo 123 there. So you need to go through each line of code, making sure that combo username or combo 123 is in place. So they are here, it's here, and it's also here. When you're changing code, be very, very careful not to delete any of the full stops or any of the speech marks or anything like that. So that's the first bit done. The next statement, okay, we've got the password. I called mine txtpass, okay. If you called yours the same, brilliant, it will work. If you called it something else, you'll need to change it. Okay, so we've got text pass there, and also text pass there. Okay, moving on, we've got text pass again. Okay, so make sure you do that one. We're looking at the password in table users. Okay, so this is where you put the table name. Let's put that into a different colour. We'll make that one red. This is where you put the table name of the users table. Okay, and we're back to the combo username there as well, so make sure you change that. Okay, working on through, user ID should match up with the user ID here, so make sure they're both the same. And combo username again. Okay, now this is where we're going to have to change some form names. In my database, the login form is called form login. Okay, in my earlier on in the screencast, you saw me just add a 2 on the end here. Okay, so form login 2. Okay, whatever you called your login form, you need to put the name there. Okay, and open, this is the name of the form that you want to open. I called mine FRM switchboard. Okay, if you called yours the same, no worries. If you called it something different, then change it there. And finally, we've got message box, just in case it doesn't work, somebody can't log in. We've got message box, password invalid, please try again. And we've got the name of the text box form there for the password. Okay, you can also change the name of the text that appears in the message boxes. So where you see MSG box, here we've got you must enter a username, so you could change that, don't have to. Again, we've got a second message box here for you must enter a password. Okay, you could change that, don't have to. And finally, we've got another one down here somewhere. Yeah, message box, password invalid, please try again. Okay, so that's how you're going to change the code to make sure that it works for your database. Okay. Okay, so far then we've done our users table, we've done our login form, we've added some code, and we've tested it. Now we do need to record a macro to close a form. I'm running out of time with this screencast software. I can only record a maximum of 15 minutes. I'm nearly on 14 already, so I'm going to stop it there, and I'm going to create another screencast now, just to quickly continue with this one and pick up and show you how to record a macro to close a form. Okay, so you can make a start on doing these. Okay, and then you can watch the next screencast to show you how to create the macro to close a form.